When we see headlines about stars like Robert Downey Jr. earning $50 to $100 million per movie, it's easy to assume all famous Hollywood actors are paid enormous sums. But many A-list stars were actually underpaid for their very roles that kicked off their illustrious careers. Join Facts as we look at actors who were drastically underpaid for their talents. George Clooney. In 2005, Clooney took an extraordinarily low salary for the film Good Night and Good Luck, which he directed, wrote, and starred in. Considering it was a passion project with political themes close to his heart, Clooney prioritized creative control and the ability to make the film over his own paycheck. For an actor and filmmaker of Clooney's caliber at that point in his career, his compensation was shockingly meager. But despite the microscopic budget, Good Night and Good Luck earned over $54 million at the box office and 6 Academy Award nominations, including for Clooney's directing and his script. It became one of his most critically acclaimed films, proving his talent on both sides of the camera. But for his work as director, writer, and star, Clooney took home just $3, highlighting the financial sacrifices artists often make for quality work. Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank was shockingly underpaid for her Academy Award-winning performance in the 1999 film Boys Don't Cry. Despite earning Hollywood's highest honor for her portrayal of real-life transgender man Brandon Teena, the meager salary meant Swank didn't even have health insurance. She later told a talk show host that she had to pay more for childcare during filming than she earned for the critically acclaimed role. For an indie film with a shoestring budget, her pay may have seemed reasonable at the time before anyone knew the film's impact. Yet, Boys Don't Cry ended up grossing over $20 million at the box office and garnered additional profits through DVD sales and rentals after Swank's Oscar win. Her salary of just $3,000 indicates how even award-worthy acting can be drastically undervalued in Hollywood. Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi was paid a paltry sum for his iconic starring role in the 1931 film Dracula, despite being the obvious choice to reprise the vampire character he had played to acclaim on stage. After years of portraying Dracula in theater productions, Lugosi lobbied desperately for the same part when Universal Pictures optioned the rights for a film adaptation. However, he faced competition from other actors on the studio's wish list. To convince Universal of his worth, Lugosi agreed to the humiliating sum of just $500 a week, or $3,500 for the entire film. It was a rock-bottom, bargain-basement salary considering the renowned character he inhabited. Yet, despite his criminally low pay, Dracula became a smash hit that earned $700,000 in profits for Universal. Within 48 hours, the film sold 50,000 tickets in New York City alone, thanks to Lugosi's masterful performance. While the role cemented his legacy, Lugosi's once-in-a-lifetime talent was wildly undervalued by the studio. Christian Bale. Christian Bale described being so desperate for work before 2000's American Psycho that he took the lowest salary legally allowed. The studio only offered the rock-bottom rate because they didn't want Bale for the lead role. Though he had shown promise in earlier films, Bale was not yet a star or in high demand. On set, he even overheard makeup artists laughing about making more money than him. Yet Bale's manic performance would be remembered as one of his most iconic, proving his worth as an actor. For struggling performers on the brink, there's often little choice but to take any job that comes along, regardless of the pay. So Bale agreed to a salary of $75 a day, showing how meager compensation can be for even incredible acting talent. Jennifer Lawrence. Before commanding millions for a role, Jennifer was paid just $3,000 a week for her breakthrough Oscar-nominated performance in 2010's gritty indie Winter's Bone. Portraying a poverty-stricken teenager searching for her missing father, Lawrence demonstrated the acting talent that would make her a global superstar. But at the time, she was an unknown newcomer with only small credits to her name. While her weekly salary sounded reasonable for an indie film role then, it amounts to less than $9,000 total for the challenging lead part that earned her Hollywood acclaim. After Winter's Bone, Lawrence's fame and salaries skyrocketed with blockbuster franchises like The Hunger Games. But despite the massive stardom that followed, she started out earning a mere few $1,000s. Brad Pitt. In 1991's Thelma and Louise, a young Brad Pitt made a meager salary for his breakout supporting turn as a charming drifter who befriends the leads. Despite his limited screen time, Pitt's magnetic performance would help catapult him to stardom as a huge movie star and sex symbol. While his dazzling good looks likely captured viewers' attention, Pitt's acting talent is undeniable. For an actor on the verge of major fame, his compensation was shockingly low for the value of his supporting role. Though the figure sounded substantial to Pitt at the time, he ultimately only took home about $6,000 for his work on the $45 million grossing film. Robert Pattinson. In the 2008 film Twilight, Robert Pattinson skyrocketed to stardom as the brooding vampire Edward Cullen, who falls for a human teenager played by Kristen Stewart. Adapted from Stephenie Meyer's best-selling YA novel, the paranormal romance was an overnight pop culture sensation. But despite launching Pattinson's career and a $3.3 billion box office franchise, the actor only earned $2 million for the first Twilight installment. For an unknown actor at the time, it seemed like a generous sum before the series' success was proven. But considering the film's passionate fan base and staggering profits, Pattinson was vastly underpaid. Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels reportedly earned $50,000 as Harry Dunn, the dim-witted but good-natured sidekick opposite Jim Carrey's Lloyd Christmas in the hit 1994 comedy Dumb and Dumber. As the clueless companions who embark on a cross-country trip to return a briefcase to a woman, Daniels and Carrey's chemistry and comedic talents made the outrageous movie a smash success. While Daniels was an established actor with credits like Arachnophobia and Gettysburg, Carrey's meteoric rise to fame in blockbusters like Ace Ventura positioned him as the studio's top choice. Despite Daniels' crucial role as the perfect funny foil, he only earned $50,000 for the film compared to Carrey's massive $7 million paycheck. The film's $247 million global gross proved Daniels' worth as a comedian, even if his salary didn't reflect it at the time. Daniel Radcliffe. At barely 11 years old, Daniel Radcliffe undertook the enormous pressure of playing the beloved young wizard for the first time and the big screen in 2001's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. As the central role that the entire $125 million budget franchise hinged on, Harry Potter was an extremely high-stakes part for any child actor to tackle. Yet, despite intense scrutiny, Radcliffe carried the film with poise and proved he was the perfect choice to anchor the lucrative series. For inhabiting the globally adored character that J.K. Rowling's novels brought to life in the first Harry Potter movie, Radcliffe earned just $250,000. Meanwhile, his co-stars, Rupert Grint and Emma Watson, received $125,000 and $110,000 respectively as supporting roles. While it sounded like a massive sum for an untested young actor at the time, Radcliffe's salary was actually a mere fraction of the film's staggering $975 million worldwide gross. As the central face of the franchise, Radcliffe's upfront pay didn't reflect the immense value he brought to his performance. Now it's time to hear from you. Which one of these stories was most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below.